What is up, guys, and welcome to a bit of a different video today. It's going to be more of a kind of topical discussion video, something that I want to do a bit more on the channel. And I thought I'd start with why I love My Hero Academia, so obviously that's today's video. And it's going to be, I try to keep these topic discussions between 10 and 20 minutes. I think that's quite a good thing, kind of good time. That way I'll be talking for a decent amount of, trying to talk about what I like about the series, in this example, in a bit more depth, but also not keeping it so long that you get bored. I'll probably also occasionally throw in some volumes here and just show some art. Obviously, if it's to do with my point, I'll obviously say so. But I mean, if I talk about something completely different to what I show, then just bear in mind that I'm just showing some art from the series to keep it a bit more interesting. Other than that, yeah, so this topic discussion, if there's anything you want to see me talk about, any series, any like comparing to art, for example, the tuning exams in the sports festival, something that I want to do. And I've got a few topical discussion videos coming out later. But yeah, so obviously today's is why I love My Hero Academia. Let's just get straight into it. Now, I think the main vocal point of the series is obviously the characters. The mangaka, Horikoshi, does an amazing job of writing firstly his 20 main characters in Class 1A, while also spreading out between other schools, kind of less relevant pro heroes, villains, ex-UA students, you know. He just does a really good job of writing loads of characters in the story, and I feel like he's someone that's not going to get hit with the same issue that Kishimoto had with Naruto, where he's written too many characters and he kind of doesn't go back to them and doesn't visit them enough. That's something that kind of bugs me in Naruto, even though it's like probably my favorite manga at the moment. It is something that kind of annoys me about this series in general, and that's that it kind of doesn't revisit a lot of characters which I thought were pretty cool in the tuning exams, for example. And I assume I've heard that that's an issue that plagues Naruto even later on in the series, and then the second part. So yeah, I don't think that's going to happen to Horikoshi, because he does give a lot of love to his characters. Each of his characters in the class at least get a moment to shine, or most of them have anyway. Look at Mineta, for example, his fight against Midnight where he takes her down all by himself, or in the USJ attack. The same with Froppy, she had a whole episode dedicated to her time away doing training with that fish pro hero, I can't remember his name right now. Or you look at what other characters, let's say Uraraka, obviously the love interest of Deku, but someone that's also has her own thing, her own kind of times to shine, and her own important moments. She's not just there simply as a love interest, but also someone that wants to aspire to be a hero. And you can see that in the latest couple of episodes where she's hiding her feelings for Deku in order to make sure she passes the exams. Again, you look at Ida, a big moment against Sting where you kind of see him getting rid of all his ideals simply to get revenge for what Sting did to his brother. Or even little moments like when he climbs on top of the exit sign and tells everyone it's okay. Very normal of Ida to do something like that. So yeah, Horikoshi definitely gives a lot of love to his characters, not just the main characters in the series. He definitely spreads it out and definitely gives each of his characters moments to shine. And what's good about it is, because we're only 14 volumes in, or however many episodes we are in season 3, 20 I believe it is, we know that even if a character hasn't got the time to shine right now, it will definitely come. That's what the kind of faith that we have in Horikoshi now, simply because of what he's done in these 14 volumes that are currently out. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on the main characters in the series, or not the main characters, but the Class 1A. But then you also got his pro heroes. You can kind of see a few of them there in the volume 1 top left cover. The fact that he's written so many of those with individual quirks and unique properties similar to the Class 1A is still outstanding. He also does it with villains. I think he has a villain for everyone. There's some people that like villains who you can resonate with and understand, and there are some people that like straight up villains that you can't resonate with and they just kill for the fun of it or do villainous things because they can and want to. You got, for example, Hero Killer State, whose ideals are still sticking with the characters in the series now, because he had decent ideals, just went about it the wrong way. Or you have Shigaraki and All For One, which are kind of like or basically the polar opposites of All Might and Deku. Although they're like a father figure to, for example, All For One is a father figure to Shigaraki, and All Might is a father figure to Deku. So it's kind of interesting how they're kind of polar opposites, yet they're very similar. Then you've got straight up villains like Overhaul, who will be introduced in season 4, and things like that. So they do definitely have a villain for everyone in this kind of series. My Hero Academia does their villains well, does their heroes well, pro heroes, everything character wise, outstanding. I don't think I've seen a better anime or read a better manga which has good a character development on as many characters as My Hero Academia. Obviously you might have a different opinion on that, but that's just how I view it and how I believe My Hero does things. The next thing I wanted to talk about was the fights in the series. Now, I believe that the fights I watched a video on YouTube maybe a couple months back about the fights, and somebody said that they were quite boring, but what makes them interesting is the stakes. Well, that's the word that I like to use, is that there are very high stakes in My Hero Academia in any fight that comes about in the series. Each fight has an importance in the series, and it's not just fighting for fighting. If you in-depth review each fight in the series, you can see that they all have a place. For example, the first fight you see, Bakugo versus Deku, is showing how Deku has grown his abilities, and even though he didn't have a quirk beforehand, he still kind of like tailed Bakugo and learned his moves and things like that, and that's why he could take him down. Then you go to the All Might versus Nomu fight. You can kind of see the sheer strength of the number one hero and what Deku's aspiring to be. Or next, you can go to the next fight after that, which is Deku Todoroki. You can see there, and something that Horikoshi does really well is he flips the table on normal shonen tropes. For example, our main character doesn't win in that fight. He doesn't make it to the final of the tournament. He instead is beaten by someone that's surely more powerful than him at the time. And that's kind of something not really done usually in shonen. Usually, even if you're weaker than someone in shonen, you can still beat them through sheer willpower. That's not something that Horikoshi likes to do. He likes to flip the tropes. And that's why I enjoy reading his manga so much or watching the anime. Then you go to the next fight. You've got Hirokiller Stain versus Deku, Ida, and Todoroki. That fight, it's not really, I don't really need to say how that fight is important. Then you go to the Muscular Deku fight. That's important because it's showing how Deku's grown and how willing he is to harm himself simply to save people. So something that is definitely a trait needed to be the best hero in the world, which he obviously, as he says, eventually achieves. Every fight has a purpose, and obviously there are smaller fights put in between those to kind of keep the series interesting, but they're not even needed considering I think that every single fight in the series is good. And then you get to probably my favourite fight in anime, definitely my favourite in the series, and that is the All For One All Might fight shown in this volume. Now the stakes in these are the biggest stakes you can see in the whole series, and that is All Might using up all his power and having to punch with one arm, and that's what it gets to when he fights All For One, his greatest nemesis, and obviously taking him down came at a great cost, considering he loses his ability to use All For One, One For All. I always get those confused. That is the biggest fight in the series, and even though only 4 or 5 punches are thrown in it, the sheer weight of that fight makes it my favourite in the series and one of my favourite fights in anime. And that kind of goes for the whole series. I can't exactly pinpoint why My Hero Academia is my favourite anime. There are so many exploding reasons as to why. And there are so many positives about the series, and although it may feature a few tropes that are commonly seen in shonen, I think Horikoshi does a good job of flipping most things on their head in terms of what is commonly seen in shonen. And obviously he's someone that as he said in his interview next to Oda, he wants to surpass One Piece, and not in terms of volume, but just in terms of quality, and I think he's on the road to doing so. I do love One Piece, but My Hero Academia does seem like it's on the road and on the path to doing that. That's just my personal opinion on it. I'll be doing in-depth volume reviews from My Hero Academia each volume, similar to what I do with The Promised Neverland. So that's something that I want to do in the future. It's just whether I start from volume 1 and go to the latest volume, or just kick it off from the latest volume. Depends on how you guys want to see it. But other than that, yeah, that's kind of my dumbed down opinions on My Hero. I could be talking here for about half an hour if I was to talk about everything I like about the series. I'd say the main vocal points are definitely the characters that he has in the series. Villains, pro-heroes, and 1A students. And also the fights, they definitely deserve a great place in the series. The world building is decent. The storyline is something that you would traditionally see in a shonen. It's just the way it's gone about and the way he does certain things within the series are different from you normal tropes that you see, like I said. So I definitely look forward to talking more about My Hero Academia, and if in the future my opinions change, I'll definitely make a video about it and say like maybe how My Hero let me down, or how it's decreased in quality, or if it gets to the end of the series and it's absolutely amazing, I'll probably make another video saying I was right about One Piece, and not One Piece, My Hero Academia, and it deserves to be where it is. It's great that it's getting a lot more popularity now. It's definitely well deserved. This is Horikoshi's first big break, so congratulations to him. If you want to see any other topical videos, like I said, leave in the comments below. Hopefully you guys have a great day. Peace.